You threaten me that if you follow what the court said, I will blow up everywhere. Let the whole place be blown off.
Impeachment is on the cards. After this press conference with Wike, I'm now very sure, because Wike's words, not my words, nothing will happen if impeachment is done. He even went further to say those that are threatening and saying all sorts. He said, what's the big deal about it? Then he went and attacked or sounded off on the comments made of the people of the IJAW extraction. You see, that IJAW conundrum was easier for Wike than when he wanted to play the politics of governance in Rivers. He played the IJAW card with Fubara. Today, the same IJAW people are talking. He's saying, is it only them? Is it only them? So that's to show you, when this Babasokwe crazy politics starts, and Babasokwe crazy is my coinage for government of the godfather, it's always about their own interest. Today, the IJAW people that Wike is pushing back on, and the likes of Pandev, this was the same card he played when he was about to bring Fubara in. The fact that, oh, it's going to be the first IJAW person. So, like Dele Farotimi says, don't die in their war. Then the drama of what happened yesterday. Alagbo George, the spokesperson of the Rivers State House of Assembly, said, oh, Fubara is the issue. They had sent him a request to come all this while. He rebuffed them. Now he's coming for drama's sake. Is that why they should close the gate against the governor? All of a sudden, Mr. Wike is holding the ace in this fight. He's now saying, respect the rule of law. But you see, the truth is, Mr. Wike cannot do this without President Tinubu. The buck will stop at the door of the president. Just like it has now showed with the meeting of the Lagos lawmakers yesterday with the president, that everything that happened in Lagos, he knew about it. But the question I keep asking is, you keep emboldening this Mr. Wike. Hope you will not complain when he wants to challenge you with that power you embolden him with. Because we have seen the rise and fall of godfathers. And we also forget that godfathers have godfathers. So we should be careful. It's already on the card. I don't know how Fubara is going to be able to get out of this. It's his fight to fight. Will he be able to fight till the end? I don't know. But with that indication of if he's impeached, what will happen? Heaven will not fall. It's an indication that that might be on the cards. So the drama in Rivers has continued, being aided by Godfather and Babasokwe crazy. But the godfather that is aiding a godfather should remember that at some point, godfathers will also fight. Maybe God the Father will settle them.
Okay, first, the timeline of the conflict in Rivers State, which has now become a house of war and an affliction on Nigeria. Now, as we know, former Governor Wike, now Minister Wike, insisted that he brought Simi Fubara to be governor. That in itself is a comment on the status of Nigeria's democracy, on the integrity of democracy in Nigeria, that people will have the confidence publicly to say, I installed this person, I did. Wike has said many times that he financed it. Fubara did not spend any money to become president. To the extent that we're still in 2027, many years after the return to civilian rule in 1999, that godfathers will still say that I put you there and I will tell you what to do there. It's an assault on the choice of the people, on the freedom of the people to choose their own leaders. That's number one. And Wike has been very insistent on this fact. And that is the foundation for the claims that he makes to Rivers State. Number two is that we have seen a situation like this before. in the past, when they had the wild, wild west. It was also about conflict among godfathers and even the intervention of the federal government supporting one party against the other. And the West, you had that blowout. There's a script called The Blowout, focusing on that particular issue. Now, I think that it will be very unfortunate if Nigeria repeats that ugly history and you have a second blowout coming from the South-South, from Rivers State, because it will seem to me that the objective practical conditions that we have seen in Rivers State will seem to be very similar to the kind of blowout that we experienced in the Wild Wild West in the First Republic. And that means that President Tinubu's work in terms of how he has intervened in Rivers State is not finished. He has to make sure that there is not a blowout from that region on his head, creating problems for the greater Nigerian polity. What is the third point? Now let's go to the details. Now, as part of this crisis, the president intervened the first time. Then again, the crisis persisted, and then the parties went to court. Then the Supreme Court gave his ruling and said that, Governor Fubara should, follow certain conditions. And yesterday, Governor Fubara, coming from the meeting with the president and other stakeholders, governors and, other stakeholders who went for iftar with the president of Nigeria, decided to go to the State House of Assembly to present the budget afresh, as had been directed by the Supreme Court. But he met a blocked gate. He was refused entry. And he had said that he had sent a letter asking for a meeting, which was rebuffed. He was also denied entry yesterday. Now, what this means is that despite the president's intervention, second notable intervention, there is an escalation of the crisis in Rivers State, which makes it even more clear that we are going to still have more in terms of conflict and disruption to deal with in that state. Now to the other issues. Now, Wike, who has constituted himself into the ultimate godfather of Rivers State, had a television interview yesterday where he showed very clearly that the war has not ended. In fact, that the jungle has now finally matured in Rivers State, despite the interventions by persons of wisdom and reason that there should be peace and stability in Rivers State. What Wike did yesterday was simply, with regard to Rivers State, to instigate instability in Rivers State. Because he said very clearly, let's deal with just that aspect, that Fubara, if he's impeached, heavens will not fall. The Constitution of Nigeria says, a governor can be impeached on the grounds of gross misconduct. And that gross misconduct is as defined by the House of Assembly. Now, these lawmakers, the 27 Amewule faction, Wike faction in Rivers State, they have now been empowered by the Supreme Court of Nigeria, indeed, to proceed ahead and impeach Fubara. If they do it, they also now have the support of their godfather. And that's why for President Tinubu, that state constitutes a problem so that it doesn't become the Wild Wild West. Now, two things that Wike said yesterday. He said the IJAW people are not that important, that they do not even constitute the majority in the South region. Well, that is not true. The IJAW people, according to the literature that we have read, I stand to be contradicted, constitute the fourth largest ethnic group in Nigeria. So Minister Wike not being an academic or somebody who is familiar with the literature, let me be nice, who doesn't understand, what the literature is, can make such statements. It's not an intellectual, it's not an academic. So you can say that. But the truth of the matter is that the IJAWs constitute a major, a major group in this population, in this Nigerian population. The second thing that he said somebody died, the late statesman Henry Clark. I don't know an Henry Clark that is from the Niger Delta. The Henry Clark the Clark that I know, who is a statesman, that he probably was referring to in the context of Pandev, is a man called Edwin Kiagodo Clark. So for Minister Wike to have an interview, and when did Paike Clark die? In less than 2 weeks, he has forgotten his name. So this is the kind of contradiction, the kind of irony that we find, but associated with the godfatherism problem. What is the way forward? He says that INC and RYC, they are just boasting, they cannot sabotage Nigeria. Anybody, whether a PJ or another group or from Okpobo or wherever, can sabotage Nigeria's economy. We don't want that kind of rhetoric from Rivers State. Nobody should sabotage the Nigerian economy. And the minister, a serving minister of the Federal Republic, saying that, look, anybody has the capacity to sabotage Nigeria from the Niger Delta, I think that should be a wake-up call for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has tried to intervene in this matter. And finally, Dr. George, who is the spokesperson of the Rivers State House of Assembly, made it clear yesterday that they retaliated, more or less, because the governor of the state also has been treating them like they are not important. I think that the major message for the people of Rivers State is that they should not turn their state into a boiling point for the rest of Nigeria, because all of us have a stake in this country and we want Nigeria to be peaceful and stable. We do not want hereafter to begin to talk about the Rivers disease. What will be the Rivers disease? That these are people who don't want peace, that this is a place where godfathers don't want peace. That is unacceptable in a democracy.
Oh, very well said, Dr. Abati. I remember yesterday, Dr. Abati, when the comment around stooping to conquer was made, you made some reference to William Shakespeare. And when I got home, Oliver Goldsmith, sorry. And when I got home, I started reflecting, and I thought of William Shakespeare and the fact that we're in the month of March. And what they do say is, beware the Ides of March. The story of the Ides of March is quite straightforward. It's around the death of Julius Caesar. And we know Julius Caesar was killed by Brutus. This speaks volumes to the situation that we're in, that I wish somebody had spoken to the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and told him to beware of the Ides of March, because this is the situation he has found himself in. Once a brotherly father-son relationship has now turned into a Julius Caesar Brutus kind of relationship. Anyway, where do we go from here? What is very clear in all of this is that if you are unable to play Machiavellian politics, you will not survive in Nigeria. That is simply the long and short of it. What is Machiavellian politics? The end justifies the mean. One must amass power by any means necessary and hold on to it and ensure that under all circumstances, whether it's through the use of strength or through the use of cunning strategies, power is the ultimate goal. And this is what we're seeing, that being a gentleman, unfortunately, doesn't pay. In the words of Bobrisky, good girl no they pay, unfortunately. Sim Fubara is being a diplomat, but I hope that he can be strategic in the diplomacy that he is trying to apply with regards to main...
I like to be...
you said it.
Very well, thank you, sir. I like to be brutally honest. Wike can impeach Fubara. He's got the numbers in the House of Assembly. Forget what you say the people are saying that are in support of Fubara. They are not in the House. These lawmakers have their own mind and they've tilted towards Wike. So the talk of somebody will not be impeached, I disagree with you, sir. It's just a question of time. If Wike chooses now, the way Wike has positioned his put Fubara today, he can wake up tomorrow morning and say, for the fun of it, I'll impeach him. And he'll do it. He's got 27 lawmakers. The Constitution will not even protect him. The Constitution, like Dr. Bati was citing this morning, is they'll just say gross negligence. And trust me, there are lots of things they can use against Fubara. Number one is even the handling of the local government. And number two is that of the budget that the court said he should go and represent to them, not carrying them along. So there are many things. They'll just trump up these charges and put it against him. And the other part that you talked about is you, the elders that have been trying to call both parts to peace, it has not worked. Is it time for you people to say in Rivers that you have one godfather, and that's Wike? Sad reality, but it's true. I don't know how to deceive myself. He's won both the elders and is winning Fubara. In this game, as it is today, Wike holds all the cards.
Well, Osere, thank you for that question. Everybody that knows you knows that you're brutally honest and you have a very analytical mind. I give it to you. But let me say this. Number one, Fubara is not the godfather of politics. Wike is not the godfather of politics in Rivers State. No, I disagree. So, I'm not trying to.
But he's shown it.
Be pessimistic.
He's shown it. Right? He's shown it.
Yeah.
He's held.
Let him show.
See, we might not agree on the way he's done it. But like I said, I'll be brutally honest. We might not agree on the way he's done it. But he's held Rivers State to ransom for about 2 years now, and in the end, he got a Supreme Court judgment. He's telling you in your face, there's nothing you're going to do. The governor tried to make peace by going to the assembly. He told, I don't have the facts that he told them to lock it up, but they locked the door, and he supported them. They are doing his bidding. So isn't it time for you people to accept that he's the godfather? He runs the state, even if he's not governor. Let's not deceive ourselves. I spoke against Wike at the start, but as of today, he owns all the cards. He's the man in the States.
Well, there is one more ultimate godfather, and that is God. You are a Christian, I'm a Christian. You know, God rules in the affairs of men. And anyone who arrogates himself, who feels that he will take the position of God, is a matter of time. And I don't think Mr. Wike wants to be in that position. So let him be the godfather of whatever anybody says. The ultimate godfather of this state is God. And he is no bigger than God. Therefore, I don't think, and I say it emphatically on a national television, that God will fold his hand and watch innocent people, watch these politicians take advantage of us. Go ahead, Dr. Ruben.
Please leave God out of this. When it is convenient for us in Nigeria, we blackmail God when men are failed. The issue here is that impeachment is a practical thing. The Constitution talks about gross misconduct. But nobody can impeach Wike if you don't have the buy-in of the lawmakers who are apparently on Wike's side. But they will still have the hurdle of the Chief Justice, the Chief Judge of the state to cross. The CJ of Rivers State will also have to be, part of the plot, as it were. And it looks like the CJ in Rivers State is on the side of Fubara. It may not be as easy, as it looks. And then you have the people. But what do you think of the intervention by President Tinubu? He intervened the first time. It didn't work. He has intervened this second time, saying that Fubara should stoop to conquer. I thought that what Fubara did yesterday was to obey the Supreme Court, also obey President.
Don't joke about, why should I give ultimatum? Who the hell are you?
What, the governor
No, listen. Who the hell are you? The governor is not sincere.
The Rivers political godfather also says he's willing to give full backing to any impeachment attempts at ousting Governor Sim Fubara for alleged constitutional breaches, noting that impeaching Fubara is not a criminal offense
to me.
But will you support an impeachment?
If you have committed an offense to be impeached, what is wrong? Is it a criminal offense? It's provided in the Constitution.
You can't just wait till 2027 to vote him out.
Am I a member of the Assembly? The point I'm making, if you have committed an infraction of the Constitution and the Assembly deems it fit to say you should be impeached, let me tell you, politics is not played just like this.
For that wonderful question, the anchor of this great platform. First and foremost, I want to say, someone has come out to say, or has outlined countless times that he said that the Nigerian government cannot win Biafra with a barrel of gun for a second time. Now when he said that, see, Nigerian government cannot win Biafra with a barrel of gun, it means that nobody needs to die for them to exit Nigeria. Now, Ojogun fought Biafra in a different dimension. Now, nnamdikanu did it via his own dimension. So everybody is taking it globally. And now, we've seen world body recognize Biafra. We've seen the UN and then some other global body have come out to endorse the Biafra struggle. So kudos to him, it is a plus. Some persons have come out to say that Samonepa should be discredited, the likes of Ohanes Ndigbo and that of the Southeastern governors. But my question is that you said Samonepa should not be taken serious. Then who should be taken serious? The government who is not willing to protect our people? Is it the people who have refused to speak up when the Igbo man has been marginalized in the country? Is it the same governors who have become